Hi everyone. Let's briefly talk about Don Lemon getting arrested at the Grammys yesterday. So, Don Lemon was arrested, and the reason they're giving is it's because he disrupted a church service. And basically, what this tells me, now somebody who goes to church, it tells me that people are not going to church in America, because if you're going to start arresting people for protesting inside a church, you have a lot of work, because they be protesting in the church. People be protesting in the church and they just get escorted out. They don't even use security. They use the ushers. They just escort them out. They protest outside. So in America, the thing you worry about when you go to a church service is mostly the mass shootings. That's what people are worried about. Nobody's worried about a protest inside the church disrupting church service. Church service gets disrupted by just anything. People catching the Holy Spirit, people just yelling, screaming, crying. So in the church, it's a different ball game, and the pastors, they want people there, so they're not like deeply offended by protests. They want people there. And normally the same protesters, you'll see them a couple of weeks later, they go to the same church. So this idea of basically attempting to criminalize a church disruption. Have you been to church? Have you been to church? Churches get disrupted by so many things, and people keep it moving. You keep it moving. That's what they normally do. And normally a lot of churches in America, they do record everything. So he's not the only one who was recording. They were probably recording the service. So if anything, if this church, they record the service, they probably captured the protest. And normally what happens is people do want to hear what the protesters have to say. So then in America, people protest everywhere, in restaurants, on the streets, in the church, in town hall meetings, in schools, in meetings, in just everywhere, outside people's houses, in the suburb, people protest everywhere. So it's their right. And of course, I do support protest, because injustice needs to be protested. People should not accept injustices. And what happened in Minnesota and is going on in Minnesota with ICE, a lot of injustice is happening there. So they need to let Don Lemon go, and all the other 3 journalists who were also arrested. And I do understand that part of Project 2025 and part of the plan that Trump had and his team had cannot be implemented when you have a free media, because what the media does, it's going to expose the illegalities, which are a lot, because to implement what they want to implement, there are a lot of things that are going to be illegal. And that's part of the reason why they're doing this, because when you have dictatorship, dictators normally do have an issue with the media, and people who support dictatorship, they have an issue with the media, issues with transparency, because they want to get away with criminal activities. So with that said, I'm out in the park for a walk, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. It's a lot going on, but what do? We have to keep living, and just pray for the best. But the reality of America is people protest inside the church, and it's not a criminal act. Like, churches get disrupted by people just catching the Holy Spirit. You're gonna arrest them too for disrupting church service? That's it for this video. Thank you.